Hello, this is Jim Wake again. The following comments pertain to Item 2 on this videotape and were made by me in December 1986. This is the steamer Kino returning to Whitehorse after pushing a barge to Hutalinka for the steamer Casca, which was already pushing one barge. From this point, where the Teslin River joins the Lewis, the Casca can push the two barges safely. We made a stop at the river community of Carmax to put off some freight and to take on a load of wood, or to wood up, as it was said by the locals at that time. Using the boat's steam-powered capstan to position the boat better for loading the wood. Repositioning the gangplanks. The wood was spruce, cut in 4-foot lengths. Some of the passengers, mostly tourists, they like to go ashore whenever possible. Glimpses of Captain Campbell, a veteran river pilot. There he goes up to the wheelhouse. A canvas sheet spread in front of the wheel, protected against cold river breezes. The Anglican Mission Church can be seen as we leave Carmax. We are approaching the Five Finger Rapids, which were navigable by the paddle wheel steamers through the finger opening on the extreme right only. On the return trip, it was often necessary to grapple for a cable attached both above and below, and wrap it around the boat's capstan to help pull the steamer through the swift water. About a half an hour's run farther down, we came to the Rink Rapids, a treacherous bit of the river. Reached Fort Selkirk, the Anglican Mission, Taylor and Drury's trading post, the Hudson's Bay Company in the distance, the RCMP barracks with the red roof, Corporal G.I. Cameron standing at the top of the ramp, closer view of the Hudson's Bay Company, the RCMP again, Taylor and Drury's, telegraph office, the mission house, the Anglican Mission Church. We've reached Stewart City at the mouth of the Stewart River. Hudson's Bay Company residence and the Hudson's Bay store. A roadhouse or inn, the beer parlor, and the dock area. It was rather empty, due partly to the fact I was traveling on the first boat of the 1945 season. There are some passengers killing time playing horseshoes. This was St. Mary's Hospital at Dawson City, looking down from Suicide Point. There's a view of Dawson City at that time from the same point. The buildings were of log or frame structure. Klondike River comes out between those two bluffs in the background. Klondike, of course, became famous as a result of the 1898 gold rush. This is Front Street of Dawson City, looking towards the Midnight Dome and the big slide. This is the RCMP office building, the Yukon subdivision side. The Imperial Order, Daughters of the Empire, erected this monument in memory of the ill-fated Fort McPherson to Dawson Patrol of 1911, all the members of which lost their lives. This is the detachment side of the same office building you saw a few moments ago. Special Constable Johnny Dines, an old-timer, is on the steps. View of Dawson City from the old AC Trail. AC meaning Alaska Commercial. You can see the clear waters of the Klondike River mixing with the silt-laden Yukon. A fish wheel operating in the Yukon River to catch salmon during the annual run. This is a panoramic view from the steamer Klondike as it approaches Eagle, Alaska on the Yukon River, a short distance from the international boundary, looking upstream. This is the steamer Klondike moving closer to shore at Eagle, a customs port of entry. The pilot is positioning the boat beside its barge to facilitate unloading. Here they are unloading an old car, vintage about 1927, belonging to the U.S. Customs officer Jack Hilliard. Such a car was thought to be good for driving on some of the old dirt roads around Eagle during the officer's summer assignment at this place. Because of its design, the steamer Klondike could carry more freight on board than any of the other steamboats then operating on the Yukon River in Canada. This sign, erected for tourist purposes, indicates we are crossing the Arctic Circle. This is the fireman stoking the boiler, which is located on the lower deck. A view of one of the two drivers located in the stern of the boat. This is a view of one of the drivers on the outside. We are just idling at this point. We are approaching Fort Yukon, Alaska. And the Northern Commercial Company and Carter's Trading Post are the largest buildings in this scene. The steamer has reached the end of its run, so all the freight must be unloaded. This post office also served the village of Old Crow in the Yukon Territory, to which point I was going. Consequently, all mail leaving Old Crow had to bear U.S. postage. Nurse Grace Crossan, viewing the monument erected at Fort Yukon in memory of the discoverers, explorers, and pioneers of the Yukon and Alaska. Residents gathered along the Fort Yukon riverfront to watch a float plane land and take off.